So let's talk then some trends. And Christina, at Visit Anaheim, is it a trend now that Visit Anaheim and other DMCs around the country by default now include a sustainability offering in their materials? Or is it still, do you wait to be asked? So where's the trend? Wait to be asked, or we're all being proactive now and saying, here, this is an option for you?
I think it depends on the destination, but I would say the majority are definitely looking at it from a DMO standpoint because that's what our clients are paying attention to. They're coming in asking those questions for the solution. On the exhibit floor, there's a lot. Being a destination, we want to immerse them in an experience as if they're in the destination. So the trade show floors at IMAX and IPW, they're getting more interactive with activations and a lot of the give backs as well. So you can paint a square, or we had even a letter board where you could write a letter and then you put it into the charity that you wanted to donate to. And so that person, that destination matched donation for that charity. So things like this that are more give back, not necessarily swag, where we're giving them something that, as you mentioned, they may not use. And if we do give them something, to really be mindful of it and thoughtful about what it is we're giving them. It's gotten more fun in the process of just being more meaningful, but also sustainable and memorable.
Hmm. And Bridget, in on the trend side, I mean, you and I, as I disclosed up front, because we work together on these carbon footprint calculations, we can say that we are seeing a trend towards people who did not know 3, 4 years ago, totally not only knowing now, but now making decisions based on some forethought, like site selection. When we
Yeah.
started this, people were already committed 2 or 3 years out in terms of their site. But now that 2 or 3 years have gone by and they've had the benefit of seeing these trends in sustainability, it's causing them to rethink site selection. And would you agree? And what are you seeing?
No, I absolutely. I think the awareness of what goes into the emissions of an event from kind of our perspective, that data is changing the way people think. Like, oh, well, I thought this destination maybe was more sustainable because of X, Y, and Z, but maybe I should be looking at these other factors that are actually playing a bigger part into our total emissions. So, for example, like distance traveled from attendees, like obviously they control a lot on site, but if they shifted the location to be closer to where those attendees were, that reduces the emissions from the actual flights. And sometimes they don't have, that's not, sometimes they're just thinking about what matters on site. But I would say there's that aha moment of, okay, we have to, what are our goals of the event? And what are our goals around sustainability? And how can we match those best? And what location can meet the needs of both of those goals? So I think it's definitely kind of making its way as one of those factors of where they decide rates, date, space, sustainability.
Right. And we talked a bit about the younger professionals. So let's talk about the older professionals. Talk about me. And somebody's now going to tell me that I, as a CEO, I should have been doing this all along, and I haven't. So I'm frustrated by that. And I'm also frustrated by some of the case studies they showed where the downside of greenwashing and getting things wrong in terms of being public about what you claim to be doing, but maybe you really aren't doing. And so I was then informed as to what sustainability was, and it didn't mean sustaining my business. It meant being a business of sustainability. And at the same time, as I said, I was frustrated. So this younger generation within each of your respective organizations, I'd like each of you to talk about this. What are you seeing? What's the trend? Is the C-suite or the older generation, if they're the one and the same, I'm not sure, but are the older folk asking or leading, or are they informed, or you're informing them? What's the trend there? Whoever wants to jump in, please.
I can start. So I see that from within my organization specifically, there is a lot of pressure to be more sustainable from business partners, but there is also, as a leading educational organization, I guess there is a little bit of pressure to be sustainable as well. So I can see our C-suite taking the lead and coming up with strategies with different planning for sustainability. So I definitely see that. There is also local enthusiasm from people like myself, where I don't necessarily need to go through different approval stages to implement some sustainability initiatives with the events that I organize. So I guess from my perspective, it's both. And it's very nice to see that for me specifically, that there is a lot of interest in sustainability and a lot of creative ideas coming from all levels of organization.
Yeah, this is we're calling this our golden decade. We're kind of coming into a really pivotal time of Visit Anaheim. So we hired, when I was a year ago, 40 people, now almost 70. So we've almost doubled in size. There's a lot more voices, all great things, and sustainability is one of them. When it comes to exhibiting, we have a new booth that we're producing this year that we mean to hang on to for at least the next 3 years, maybe four, maybe longer. But the intent was to get something that we are renting majority. We have digital assets more than physical assets, and trying to think of that carbon footprint as well as only purchasing the custom items. So that was one thought. The other thing we're doing, we created what we're calling our program of experiences. We have about 93 events that we're planning this year so far, and we've looked at it holistically so that we can look at all of our different departments. And when we're going for in-market events, yes, partnerships doing an event. If tourism needed to do business in that particular location, let's try and create an event that involves everybody and we pull in clients. So that's been really great just to look at everything. So all of our team can look at that calendar and say, I actually need to go there and see such and such clients. And we're already seeing that synergy. I think that's only going to steamroll as we get going here, and events that were maybe somebody was just going to travel for 12 has now become an event of 28, and we're servicing more clients and getting that cross promotion from the different departments. So a few things, but more is coming. So it's an exciting time.
I think we're similar to Oksana, what you said. Our leadership is bought in. It's a strategic priority. Our organization is quite large. I mean, we have 2,500 people. So we have the direction from leadership to say this is a priority. We have kind of task forces to start educating, because it's hard for people to assist clients without feeling like they really know what they're talking about. So we really have kind of an internal campaign to spread the word, help educate, make people feel confident talking to clients, maybe servicing things for our clients, even if they don't ask. Because oftentimes, do what your clients want as a planner and consult with them. But if you can consult with them on also sustainability, sustainable options, and educate them, it will drive more awareness. It will drive the industry forward. So there's a lot. And then our on-site staff, that's kind of that younger generation. So the travel directors, they're all in. They hate seeing the waste. They hate seeing the food waste. So they are trying to figure out how can we help even when we're just on site, even when we're not planning. So as an organization, I think we care. I think we care about educating those around us, the industry, our clients. And so it's just, I think like you said, Christina, it takes time. We're seeing that snowball starting to get bigger. We're seeing people grab onto it and want to help. So it's fun to kind of see that progress over the last year or so. So
Yeah, and I in business and in life, I've always seen things as a pendulum, and it moves from left to right, and at some point it comes back into the center. And I can see that in the trends in sustainability, that we've had to push for so long now that the pendulum has swung out, and now it's swinging back a little bit, and it's going to normalize in the middle, where this is just business. This is the way it's done. And it's no longer seen as you're far out on the left or far out on the right of the pendulum swing, but it's becoming more centralized. Yes, I still find people who are new to the notion, but I'm finding that they're anxious to learn. Oksana?
Thank you. I just wanted to agree with you and Bridget on the trends and how it is becoming normalized, sustainability in events industry. What I have seen is that sustainable initiatives can be so innovative and so creative that one event or one company does it and it becomes a worldwide trend. And then if you want to have a cool event, you must have something like this. For example, I was a volunteer at the TEDx London a couple of years ago, and they had like a quiet room where you were not allowed to talk. You would go in to just wind down. And I think it was such a great idea for anyone who can become a little bit overwhelmed. But what I've seen is that trends like this, they spark interest with other companies who want to do something on top of what they're already doing. And I think this is how sustainable trends and sustainability moves further, like digs its root further in. And the other one that I thought about was that once they become a norm and you attend an event and it's not there, for example, disposable items or plastic bottles, I don't expect to see that at an event that I attend. So if I attended now a different event and suddenly, oh, the water is served in plastic bottles, I would think, why are you doing this in 2025? Come on.
Right.
So that's how I see the trend being in the events industry.